In 1958, Radio Luxembourg, a global radio station based in Europe, unexpectedly issued a challenge to people around the world. The challenge was for an individual to transport any piece of ice weighing 3 tons from the Arctic to Africa. If someone could accomplish this, they would be rewarded with 100,000 lives per kilogram, or $16,000 in modern times, totaling $48 million for the entire 3 tons. However, the challenge came with certain conditions, one of which was to carry a piece of ice, and the second condition specified that the journey must be made by land. The third condition stated that refrigerators could not be used to complete the challenge. Radio Luxembourg presented this substantial reward, fully aware that the challenge seemed nearly impossible at the time. This audacious task spanned a grueling 8,500 kilometers journey, with 2,500 kilometers on roads through the scorching 50-degree heat of Africa. The offer of such a significant amount of money reflected Radio Luxembourg's belief that there was no one in the world willing to accept the challenge during that era. The entire journey covered 8,500 kilometers, with 2,500 kilometers on roads, in the intense 50-degree heat of Africa. After the channel broadcasted, for the first few months, no one took up the challenge. However, one day, a person named Birger Natock accepted the challenge. Interestingly, he was not a navigator, but rather the managing director of Ray's Insulin, a company. He believed that by using the material his company used to manufacture insulin, they could create a massive block of ice and transport it thousands of kilometers through Africa, reaching a remote city with the help of a Navy team. The advantage of the play was twofold. It would promote their company worldwide without spending money, and they would receive a substantial amount of money by completing the challenge. Despite creating a team and starting preparations, upon seeing the complexity of the Radio Luxembourg plan, fear took hold, and they withdrew from the challenge. However, a skeptical seed was sown. Driven by the company's publicity interests, Navi took extensive preparations, considering the financial gain. After completing the challenge, even if they didn't receive a massive amount of money, their company would gain significant publicity. Nevertheless, Navi, well aware of the challenges, knew that the block of ice had to be taken from their city Marella through several countries with challenging terrains to reach a livable African city. A team of 4 experienced drivers and a mechanic accompanied Navi. 2 cameramen documented the navigator's journey, spreading the story worldwide. With this coverage, various companies started sponsoring them, providing trucks and fuel. So, it is said that they didn't have to spend much on the notebook at that time. Anyway, with the help of a helicopter, they cut 200 kilograms blocks from the 3-ton ice chunks. Afterward, they compacted these pieces again using ice, creating a solid block. Then, they loaded this block onto a truck in a container. Surrounding the ice block with their company's produced insulin, they covered it. After all the preparations, they commenced this extended journey on February 27, 1959. The starting direction of this massive journey was relatively easy because transporting cold ice chunks through Europe did not pose any significant challenges. The roads were quite straightforward. The fun part was when the truck crossed a big city. The police in those cities, out of fear of the thief, provided them safety by guiding the truck through. When passing through Paris, the mayor of Paris himself followed the police protocol, allowing the truck to cross. 1 week later, the truck was lifted with a crane to be placed on a ship, as there were no roads in that part of Africa. Then, a portion of the journey was accomplished in the sea, and the truck was unloaded in a part of the African continent. At that very moment, the situation seemed to take an unexpected turn. Everyone could understand. The temperature had risen several times. There was no road within the desert, only the fear of melting ice, but more concerning was the drivers facing heat strokes. Alongside, in the secluded areas of the desert, there was security concern. At that time, Africa was engaged in various wars. Freedom fighters were hiding in different parts of the desert. Prince Foreign Legend, considering the danger, provided security in some portions of the desert and guided them on which path to take. However, due to the lack of roads in the desert path, the truck's wheel got stuck in the sand. After a brief moment, they managed to free the truck from the sand, and the journey resumed. They often faced various challenges on the desert path. When the truck got stuck, it took several hours for crew members to clear the sand and continue the journey. On one side, there was the fear of an attack by freedom fighters, and on the other side, the truck's wheel getting stuck in the sand was the biggest concern. Also, the fear of the ice melting on the desert path was ever present. If the truck were to be damaged and couldn't continue, they might not have completed the journey with the truck. Despite facing various difficulties, they confronted the challenges and continued towards their destination. At the end of this 28-day-long journey, They finally reached the desired destination, close to Al Ibrahim. Upon arrival, everyone warmly welcomed them. At that moment, they were all eager to know the current state of the ice chunks in the truck's container. A few moments later, when the container was opened, an unbelievable scene unfolded. The ice chunks were in perfect condition. At that moment, there was complete faith that the ice chunks had traversed thousands of miles without any change. When they started the journey from Norway, the weight of the ice chunks was 3,000 kilograms, and upon reaching the destination, the weight had reduced to just 336 kilograms on March 27th. This indicated a significant reduction in weight due to the melting of the ice. Although Radio Luxembourg initially declined their challenge, Nodvi accepted it and demonstrated it, showcasing the sight of locals in Africa witnessing a chunk of ice for the first time. Alongside, they gained additional opportunities with the ice chunks. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to share, and if you crave more mystery and excitement, stay tuned.